If you're trying to make Facebook ads work for your business, then I got good and bad news. So let's start with the bad news. The bad news is that I'm pretty sure, actually very sure, that most of the so-called gurus who are trying to teach Facebook to others, they got it wrong. And the good news is that if you just flip it around and you do the exact opposite of what they tell you to do, it's actually quite easy. And I'm not saying that because I think it's, or like I try to like throw rocks at the gurus or whatever, like, but I've been following the gurus. I've been going through the trenches. I've been trying to learn Facebook ads, and it took me quite a while to get it and to make it work. And it was only after I flipped it around and did the exact opposite that it started to work, and it actually started to make sense to me. So in this video, I want to share like the 3-step plan, the 3-step process that you need to take in order to go from beginner not knowing how to run Facebook ads to the point where your Facebook ads are actually profitable, and do it in a way that doesn't break the bank in the process. So my name is Wilco the Kreij, and right now I can fortunately say that Facebook ads is a good driver of my business at the moment, but it wasn't always like this, right? When I started out, it actually took me a long time, probably even slower than most. I like various times I've been like, oh, I'm gonna make Facebook ads work. I gave it a try for a couple months, and the only thing that happened is I was basically disappointed. So basically when I went through all the courses, they tell you how to reach new people, right? They tell you what to do and how to make your Facebook ads work. But the problem is that there's so much stuff you need to know. I mean, what ads, what targeting, like all these things inside the Facebook ad platform, but even that part is just a part of it, right? You also need to know, like, is your offer any good? Like, is the actual thing that you're selling, is it in demand? Like, how do you write copy? How do you create a sales page? How do you make it look good? How do you There's a lot of stuff you need to know. So basically, if you're looking at like the Facebook traffic, right, and you're like, basically, I'm gonna talk in circles. Like these people, the outside people, they're like, they've never heard of it before. It's like cold traffic. People who are brand new, and that's how it is, right? And then you got people who've sort of heard of you before already. They're like, they visit your website maybe, and then at the very center, there's people who already purchased from you, right? If you already have customers. So the more centered you go, you basically, like, they're more familiar with you, and they're way easier to convert. Now the problem is that if you're brand new, you don't have any traffic, you don't have any customers, so you have to start at the outside. And because of that, because a lot of the gurus, they sort of focus on people who have never, who don't have a business yet, or like who are trying to make it work. They all focus on this part, like getting cold traffic, people who've never heard of you before, and trying to turn them into a customer and do it in a way that's actually profitable, right? Which is kind of like you go out on the street and you're trying to sell your product or service to whoever is walking by. It's not easy, and of course there's many ways to do it. You can, ease them in, you can get them into your funnel, but still, like, getting cold traffic to convert is hard. No matter what the gurus tell you, it is hard, especially if you haven't figured all parts of your business out yet. Like I said, your sales copy, your pages, all of that, like, there's so much stuff. So when I started with my Facebook ads, I started out with this as well, right? Because that's what everybody told me to do, and I wanted to reach a new audience, so I started at cold ones. And I think I did like 3 or 4 attempts. And one attempt, I mean like a couple of months, like 3-4 months of trying and then just quitting because it didn't work. But like quite a few of attempts to make cold traffic work. And at some point, I had traffic from other sources as well. For example, some affiliates and other things. And I wanted to retarget people who visit my sales page. So people who not from Facebook, but people who visit my sales page from other traffic sources. And I wanted to show them Facebook ads, right? So this was people who are also already in this area. They're already familiar with me and my business, and that's what I wanted to show ads to them. And those people, they're way more likely to convert because they've interacted on my page. They've seen it. I'm even using Connect or Target, for example. So instead of just people who've only visited my page, you can even say like people who've scrolled down to a certain part of my page, or people who spent at least a minute, or people who watched at least 10 pages. So in other words, the creme de la creme, like the best part of my audience. And I was retargeting them with Facebook ads. And those ads were profitable right away. And I was like, right? And it wasn't just about the profit, but for me, it was really about the confidence and like, finally, Facebook ads was working, like, because all this time I saw other people posting about it, I saw other people bragging about it, but so I sort of knew it was possible, but I didn't fully believe it, you know what I mean? So when I started running my own retargeting ads, I was like, this stuff actually works. Like, this is awesome. So by doing that, it gave me the inspiration, motivation to keep on going, and I started doing more of these retargeting ads, right? And after a while, I was like, all right, cool. So now what's the next thing? So what I also did is, like, if people visit my, let me just sketch it right here. If people visit my sales page, right, and I'm selling multiple products, and here's product number 2. So this is sales page number 1, and this is sales page number 2. Then if people would visit this page and they didn't purchase, right, what I would do is I would then retarget them with ads about product number 2, which is serving the exact same audience, just a different product, right? So if maybe product 1 wasn't a good fit at the right time, but maybe product number 2 is. In other words, cross-selling. So now it wasn't just about retargeting. It was not just about, you know, reminding them of the product they've already seen or giving them more reasons why they should check it out. But now it was also about getting a new product in front of their eyes, but still people who've already seen me, people who already trust me, people who already visit my site multiple times, for example. And this went well. So I'm like, cool, awesome. This is freaking awesome. So if people visit page 2, I'm going to show them page 1 and vice versa. Cool. And only then I started doing the outside, the cold traffic. The cold is the hardest part to convert. And that's really what I recommend to everyone. Like, all the gurus, they tell you, like, oh, you need to target new audience, and then, you know, and once you get that audience, you need to actually retarget them and do all this ninja stuff. Well, the reality is, like, if you're gonna do that, chances are that you're not gonna be happy. You're not gonna succeed right away, and because of that, you lose motivation. And when you lose motivation, it's really hard to be the best version of yourself, basically. So what I recommend to everyone who's running Facebook ads is do it completely in the opposite way. You start with retargeting, right? You make your retargeting ads work. People who visit your website, you're gonna run ads to those people and make sure that's profitable. Because if you cannot make that profitable, then there's no point going to the next phase. Make your retargeting ads profitable. Work on that. Familiarize yourself with the Facebook ads platform. Tweak, do whatever you have to do, but like start with the lowest hanging fruit, which is your retargeting audience. And once you've done that, once you've finished phase 1, if it's actually profitable, let's say you are selling multiple products, then you start to cross-sell those products, right? So if someone has visited page product number 1, you're going to show them ads about product number 2, assuming it's for the same audience, right? You can skip this phase, obviously, if you only have one product, but if you have multiple products, or even if you have one, maybe you can go for a different pricing option. So if they've seen a yearly price, maybe you can show them a monthly price, or like try a different angle. But like, that's the phase number 2, cross-sell your existing visitors. And then only after that is profitable, you actually move on to the outside layer, the cold audiences, the cold traffic, because that is the hardest part to actually convert. And don't go outside in, but go inside out. Now, one last thing I want to mention, because I know some of you will be like, oh, but I don't have any traffic to convert. And you're right. If you're starting out, you may not have traffic to convert, but guess what? There's actually other ways to get traffic as well. So for example, just to give you an idea, you could start a blog, get content out there, post it in various social media groups on Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. Ask influencers to share it. Like, do whatever you have to do, put in the time and effort to get people to read your blog. And then they've seen your brand, your blog, and you're gonna retarget those with your offer. And that's a really good strategy as well. So there's various ways to get traffic even without Facebook ads, but make sure you get some of that. And then, so you can then start with phase 1, retarget your existing traffic. Then you're gonna cross-sell if you have multiple offers. And only once those things are working, you start targeting cold audiences, people who've never heard of you or your business before, because that's the hardest part. So that's the three-step process. I hope you like it, and talk to y'all soon.